The International Blind Cafe 18 Plus presents Conversations from Booth 6666666.
Order up.
Is this the one for booth 6?
Yep.
Welcome back to Booth 6 here at the internationalblindcafe.com. We welcome you back this week. Our discussion last time was about the evolution of accessibility for blind people in entertainment. This week, we're going back to basics. We can use all kinds of technology to help us out, but when we really focus on the fundamental skills that we need to be using as blind people, we realize that there's still a lot to learn. Jason, if you could start us off with maybe a tidbit or a tip of something simple that helps you as a blind person.
Well, yeah, for sure, Scout. One of the biggest things I use as a blind person several times a day is whenever I'm filling a glass or filling a cup or pouring myself a cup of coffee, even here in the cafe, I just hook my finger over the edge, pour the coffee until the tip of my finger feels hot, and that's it. So I don't get the fullest cup of coffee all the time, but I can't walk with a super full cup of coffee anymore. Anyway, not like I could when I was sighted. So just fill it up till you feel the heat on your finger, and that's a quick and easy tip. Be careful, don't pull it too deep. You'll burn your finger, and then.
I get it, man. You said don't stir the cup. No, don't stir the cup with your finger.
Hey, it's been a long week, man. How you been doing? Come join us have a cup of coffee. I'm sure Eddie didn't stick his fingers in it.
Yeah,
All of them. I just washed my hands though.
Eddie, you picked your nose. That's not washing your hands.
Yummy. I don't know how you do this sometimes, Terrence. You've been blind all your life, and we're middle-aged men, so we were around. You were around long before a lot of the assistive technologies came out. So even just learning how to butter toast or pour milk into cereal, like how did you progress into things like that?
It's a lot of so I would say it's a lot of situational awareness, right? Butter and toast, put the butter in the middle of the toast and try to spread it out. But here's the deal: hot toast and butter. If you can get the butter on the toast, getting it on there as quick as you can, it kind of helps you out. So you start learning those little things. So for me in the kitchen, and I was, cooking with a friend of mine a couple of months ago who's also visually impaired, and she was saying that she was noticing how I do stuff, right? And she's a lifer too, right? But it's lots of preparation. If you know you're gonna do, you lay out even small stuff. Like you said, butter and toast, man. You get everything where it needs to be. And once everything is where it's supposed to be, you go to work. Toast in the toaster or on the griddle. Off the griddle, turn it over. If you want to put butter on it, put the butter. You can put the butter on it while the other side is toasting on the griddle if that's what you want to do. But there's just a lot of preparation that go into it. We don't just get a lot of times just, off the cuff and, well, hey, I'm just going to fix a sandwich and I'll go grab this and grab that and grab this and grab that because I have missed the bread. I have thoroughly mailed the counter before.
Buttered the counter. Hey, Eddie, how about you, man? You've been going through this journey all of your life too, and it's just the day to day. Like I'm new to this. I've only been doing this 5 years. So what are some of the things that have been just the day to day adaptability of
Well,
doing
I
stuff?
have had one time I had a problem. Everyone will laugh, and you should. Making biscuits and gravy. You want a little milk to put in there, and poured some milk in there and said, "Oh, this is going to taste good. I can't wait to eat it." Well, it wasn't white milk. It was chocolate milk.
Oh, I
So
thought you were going to say it was
sometimes you
old milk
forget.
and chunky.
No. Sometimes you forget about it, or screw up, grab the wrong gallon. You're in a hurry, or like making eggs, like fried eggs. I like to make like my own egg McMuffins.
Absolutely.
And I still have problems now, but I really now I use my silicone ring where you crack the egg in it and it stays in that ring. But when you didn't have the ring, I'm ripping eggs in half. I'm leaving half of it in there. And the yolk, you want one with a yolk in it. The yolk cracks and breaks, and you just got this gross thing. And just a lot of practice. And sometimes I'd stick my finger in the pan to feel where the egg is if I didn't have the ring. Like, that egg should be right around here somewhere, and right on the pan. I'm like, ooh.
Okay, Jody, you've gone blind. You've been blind about as long as I have. So, about 5 years. So, we both lived that sighted lifestyle where frying an egg was no problem, pouring coffee was no problem. What are some of the things you've used to adapt from the sighted world to the visually impaired world?
Well, the things like chopping and cutting, I've altered it a little bit because I use my fingers to measure how thick I cut something now. Or measure using both hands to measure where the middle of what I need to cut, like an avocado, is to chop it down. It's more I use my hands to measure more. But whereas before, you just go look at it and go chop, 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 chop. For me, a little bit difficult in the beginning was eating. I could be eating a freaking salad and I'd be flipping it all over the table.
That's one of the reasons I hate salads.
But now I'll take the plate. I'll start eating from the front, and I'll start pulling things to the front. I know some other visually impaired people, they move everything to the middle, but I kind of pull it to the front of the plate. Mm-hmm. Or a wine glass, I'll hook it under the plate, which makes a lot of people nervous, thinking I'm gonna knock it over. But I know where it is. It's exactly how fuck. Yeah.
Hey! There's there's your old friend Chris, man. Chris
over there.
Hey,
come on over, man. It's been a long time.
Jeez, man, I was walking past the window here at the coffee shop. Saw you guys in here. Can I come join you?
Absolutely. Come join us. But this is a subject you're familiar with. You've only gone blind in the last 5 or 6 years too.
It's about 4.5, pushing 5 years now. And
so what about you, man? Dude, I know you're not a big techie guy either. So what are some of the tricks you use to for your day to day?
I think there are a few of them have been covered already. This idea of eating off a plate, but for me, the trick wasn't putting stuff to the front of the plate. Occasionally, my sister who lives upstairs would invite me upstairs for dinner. Say, Chris, we're having this. Come on up and enjoy some. So I'll go up. But if you have a plate of lasagna, the stuff at the center is always hot, and the stuff toward the edge is always cooler. So as a blind person, always start eating from the side of the plate and work around the edge of the plate and work your way in. That way you're not going to spill stuff off the side of the plate. Which I thought would not be a trick, but that's, just a mechanical aspect for anyone sighted or otherwise. You always work toward the center of the plate, away from the edge, that way you're not spilling. But as far as identifying a package, one gripe that I have, and still have to this day on occasion, is going into my fridge or my kitchen cupboard, finding a can or a jar of something that isn't necessarily distinct from a jar or can of a different product that's the same shape, same size can or package. I don't know if it's beans or unopened jam or chopped garlic, for that matter. I've once or twice made the mistake of pulling out a jar of pre-chopped garlic, thinking, okay, this is strawberry jam for my toast, and down for freshly garlic to my morning toast.
Well, that's how you get garlic toast.
That's how you make garlic toast. It's your garlic bread.
Yeah, but it's not quite the morning breakfast I wanted at 6 o'clock in the morning.
Well,
Yes.
you say that you say this, Chris. It's funny because I was sitting around with a friend of mine the other day and vibing in much too much whiskey. And that was the topic that came up: is how do you tell the difference between a ketchup bottle and a mustard bottle? And to Terrence in conversation, I think he said something about you just stick your tongue in the bottle and don't tell your family.
The other trick to that though is using. I still use your idea of using a finger to test the water level in my cup of tea. So I'm a tea drinker.
Yeah.
Use the fingers of my left hand to stick something into a jar or container in my fridge and taste my finger on my left hand to see
Sniff test.
what it tastes like.
The sniff test that does work sometimes.
The sniff test too. And then Eddie, you're talking about using chocolate milk in a recipe once. My son loves it at Christmas time. I accidentally put eggnog in scrambled eggs.
Well, that'll work too.
Probably a little different taste also.
Yeah, he loved them.
Certainly beats orange juice in your waffles.
He was making creme brulee. That eggnog.
But yeah, but the thing, a lot of the things that go in your fridge, though, we all notice. Like for anybody listening, everything's got a distinct shape. And then let's see, like some of the store brands, they'll put several things in the same bottle. But when you get into brand names, like the certain brands of ketchup, the bottle is this shape. Their steak sauce, it's this shape, and like certain brands of mustard, their bottles are this shape, which really helps us as a consumer being able to go into the fridge and your spreadable cheese product, the jar is shaped like that. It's kind of skinny in the middle and wide at the top and the bottom, right? So that helps when it's milk or chocolate milk. The sniff test. I do know though. One time though, I'm cooking. I love to cook, and this group we're constantly talking about food. That's why we're sitting in the cafe, right? But I make a chicken cordon bleu that's really good most of the time, and everybody likes it when I make it. But I used to put a lemon pepper into my breadcrumbs, so it had a little bit of a lemony tang. Just a little tiny hint of it. It was delicious. But I used to just sprinkle a dash without measuring it. I'm a pinch and a dash cook, right? But I guess I put in more than I thought I did. Yeah, to this day, five years later, I hope you're not putting that lemon pepper in there again.
You're like, you know what? You keep talking to me, and I'm gonna put a whole cup of it in there. Say it again.
That lemon pepper left the house.
Yeah.
But yeah, so it's been an adventure for sure.
You have those accidents. We were cooking. I was mentioning my friend earlier, and she and I was cooking here, and I said, "Do me a favor. I said we were going to make pancakes. I was making pancakes, and I set everything down. I said, a cup of flour, please. And so she's going, there isn't enough for that much, for flour. I'm like, yes, it is. I put we had a little moment. I said, yes, it is. She said, this right here? And I turned around, and she had poured a cup of salt, because I have the salt in a bag so I can measure it, right? And I said, oh, sweet baby Jesus, give me that cup. Oh, baby.
But that's granular.
That's granular.
Flour is powdery.
But she was like, she said it didn't feel right, but this is what you said over here. I said, no, baby, that other bag. My apologies. It got lost in translation. The other bag.
For sure. No, so leaving the kitchen though, how about doing things like folding your laundry, matching your socks?
Sock holders. I got sock holders. I got like 30 of them.
Really?
That's my lifesaver. I clip them together.
Yep.
I take them off at night. And then they're in the laundry basket.
Okay.
I just don't buy white. I don't buy white socks because, to that point, I don't buy white clothes because white clothes require bleach, and if you put bleach on the wrong thing, then you back out telling somebody embarrassing facts about yourself, like your waist size again. So my way around that is I just do not buy anything that require. I have black socks, and that's what I stick to. But I never thought about the sock holders. I didn't even know those existed.
Oh yeah, they're awesome.
Yep.
Next time you come over, I'll show them to you.
Hey, bet, man. Yeah, I'll be.
Safety pin the top of your socks together.
Oh, yeah, but those start to tear once in a while too, though. After a while.
Okay.
That's what I've noticed.
The other trick that I picked up is always have, when you go to the store to buy a new pack of socks, get those 10 packs of all the same color socks, same style of socks. So
Yeah, that's another thing.
Mixed up, they still look the same. So
Actually, I'm getting ready to buy a whole new bunch of socks. So a lot of mine are getting old, so I'm going to throw out the old ones and buy like 15 pairs of new ones.
See, that's the other side of it. That's the thing about being blind and live with, have a spouse or anything. I dress like an undertaker. I just, I walk out the house. Dark blues, dark blacks, dark blues, maybe a burgundy. That's burgundy spicing it up. Grays is something. I'm a big bald undertaker. I look like I'm coming to get you.
Well, and I do know the key since I went blind to now is making sure that in my apartment that I put everything back where it got it from. So when people do come over and they move something, even if it's just to the other side of the counter. In fact, here's one. The other day, I got a robot vacuum. Greatest thing ever, because I can't sweep the floor to save my life anymore. So I got this robot vacuum. I spent 3 hours searching for the robot vacuum in my 900 square foot apartment.
And there's something.
And you knew it had to be there.
Yeah.
Where was it?
Did it park itself back in its spot?
No, it parked itself under an end table. So every time I slid the end table aside, it went with it. Because I moved the end table, whacked my cane, no, nothing there. Slide the end table back. Finally, I picked up the end table, whacked my cane. So what's this? Oh, there you are, you darn thing. Yeah.
Meanwhile, there's people walking by looking at your big butts in the window going, why is this dude He-Man in his furniture?
Lift up the couch with one end and waving my cane underneath the couch. Oh, I better move the couch next time so the vacuum can vacuum there, but let's put it back down for now.
That's something that you mentioned that though. You said you got it because you don't sweep, but we were talking about that the other day, Eddie. The pigeon toe shuffle when you put your feet together and point them out, and you're sweeping everything in between your feet. And then you scoop, then you scoop back across the room, and then get that in the pile, then start all over again. Yeah, no, those robot vacuums are awesome things to have. If you can, they're not that expensive. If you on a budget, you get a good one about $150. I mean, it is what it is, right?
But before that, I used to sweep, and then I'd run a regular vacuum over my apartment floor every 2 or 3 days. And
just to make sure.
Because I
have a 5 horsepower shop vac that picks up everything.
Yes. Including the furniture.
Yeah.
extra about including your laundry.
Yeah. You don't step on the carpet, it's going to pick it up.
Jody, we know that you got a roommate over the last period, last year or so.
Yeah.
So how do you adapt, being that you've been blind for 5 years and you've adjusted pretty good? And now you got a roommate that doesn't put the beer in the same shelf of the fridge as you do.
Well, I once in a while I'll go into the fridge and do a full exploration.
Okay.
Because there's sometimes there's like new stuff in there, and I don't know what the heck it is. The mystery Tupperwares. So, yeah.
Mystery Tupperware, yeah.
I'll sneak a finger in there for a taste test.
No, I'm scared of mystery Tupperware. If I didn't put it there, it's not for me to taste.
Yeah, no, man. I had that happen. I decided I was going to make a homemade pizza, right? Oh, and so I made the sauce. I had made the sauce, but my little brother at the time was a vegetarian, and so he was into making chutneys and curries and all that kind of stuff. So I made the sauce the day before, let it set up, in the refrigerator overnight, and let all that goodness come together. And so I make the pizza, and same thing. I got mystery Tupperware. I grabbed the wrong damn container and put his concoction all over my pizza. And I'm sitting there going, "This is not my flavor profile." What happened? Dude.
Yeah, it's pepper picking season. So we've got a whole bunch of hot peppers, and then I have another pepper we grow that I like to make the base of my pepper blend. So it's got a pepper flavor, but it doesn't. It's got a heat that kind of follows later. But you grind up the cayenne pepper, and then you grind up together, and then by accident you take a pinch of the cayenne because you're trying to figure which little bowl is which. You're hoping it's the Durango, but no, that's the cayenne.
That's the awesome. Ooh, that's not it. That ain't it. I did a good job growing them, but that ain't the one. Ooh, but you know what? But that's what we do, right? People don't understand, and I've had people watch me. What I've done is I've tried to get my spices in some type of order, so usually alphabetical, right? Going around the cabinet, and then when you don't know what it is, you do sniff a lot. Like seriously, because that's the only way you're gonna find out. Either that or taste it. You ain't got no choice. So you do that. There are things with where certain etiquette protocols. It kind of goes out the window with us. I mean, like I don't bury my face in the plate caveman style, but that whole thing about like eating your soup and you scoop your soup away from you. I more kind of windshield wiper across the bowl because it's safe. Because I take a hand and put it on one side of the bowl. So if anything even starts to brim over, I can feel it. I can catch it. I would rather get it on my hand than on my tie or my shirt. Stuff like that. Some visually impaired people were taught to use a piece of bread for gravy and things like that. But it's to Chris's point with the lasagna, I have a designated finger, and that finger stays on one side of the plate, man. And I keep napkins or my neighbor's sleeve, and that's what we do, man.
Your neighbor's penalty.
Well, this summer I had an event, and I got to pick. There was about 6 things on the menu, and it was an Italian restaurant where we were going. So it was spaghetti with red sauce, and it was linguine with red sauce, and it was this with red sauce. Oh, and there was barbecue ribs. I really want the barbecue ribs. But no. I was going to dress really nice because it was about my daughter's wedding. So, no, you're going to be wearing really nice clothes. No ribs.
No caveman eating.
No spaghetti and red sauce.
No.
You're getting the seafood linguine in white sauce.
Because it's safe. You have to be safe because we wind up wearing a lot of that stuff, man, and we just wind up touching things a lot too, right? That's just what it is.
I've turned a lot of things into finger food.
Yeah. Hey,
no one else is around when you eat by yourself.
T-bone steak is a finger food.
Yeah. Asparagus definitely don't cut them. Just nibble.
Like a beef steak.
I'll tell you the hardest thing I had a metals class when I was in college because I just needed some BS credits, right? And so I took like a jewelry class, and that class required, going back to what you asked about butter and bread, it required me to really have good situational awareness because annealing metal, you cannot touch that. That's just what it is. That's not an option. So it's that was a chore for me to take the tongs, make sure I knew where the bowl was. That's what I was working on. I started with a flat piece of disc of copper, and I made a bowl. And I was able to successfully make this bowl, man. But you learn a lot of just about being your situational awareness being blind. That's just the biggest thing.
That's the biggest thing. You mentioned when you're cooking or when you're doing anything, even when you're putting the sheets on a bed or putting a bed together, you put everything in a certain order on the chair by the bed or whatever, and so that everything's there so you can get it done in a timely fashion. But it's all there. Your pillowcases, they're all sitting in a certain spot, so when it's time to put the pillowcases on the pillows, you don't have to go on an adventure to find them each time. I've lost a mop in my apartment.
Yeah, man, listen, I lost a paycheck, and I got so frustrated. I had a moment like you did with the vacuum with the paycheck, so I get it. And to this day, I cannot tell you where that paycheck went. They actually had to cut me another one, but I got so frustrated because I put it on top of the dresser, and maybe it got when I moved my shirt around, because stuff like that happens if it got. But I remember being so frustrated that I picked up the Chester. I just wrapped my arms around it and I threw it across the room. I was just like, oh my God. But you have those moments and you just got to calm down, backtrack yourself, and just work on being prepared. That's all. It's just about anything we do is possible.
Being prepared and being organized, that's the key.
That's the key.
Earlier today, I was looking for this 6-foot-long barbell. 6 foot long. I said I couldn't freaking find it. I said, finally, I got so frustrated. I said, if I was me, where would I put it? I go get my white cane. I feel around. There's no ping, 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 of hitting metal. Finally, I'm standing there thinking, I stick the white cane underneath the sofa, and there it is. Under the sofa. I must have put it on the floor. It must have rolled under the sofa.
It's just about being organized, right, man?
Y'all ever drop something and you go to get it and it just keeps rolling away from you? You drop a
can of pop something or a can of something on the floor.
That's what the broom is
Reach
for.
and you kick it and it goes again. What, Chris?
I once
you sweep up the couch.
Blueberries. A freaking container of blueberries. Guess what happened?
Good, Chris.
Well, it's the same thing with blueberries. Just use the broom, sweep the floor under the couch, and you'll find the blueberries and whatever else you rolled in. Hey, that's where that blueberry was from like 6 months ago.
Chris,
your white socks are no more.
No. I don't. That's why I don't wear white. If I walked out the house with some white on, I'd be dirty by the time I made it to the car.
Not white socks, they're light turquoise dress sock.
I quit wearing white years ago, long before I went blind.
Yes, it's safer for the color white. If we don't wear white, it's much safer. Let white be great. It doesn't, because I would tear up a white shirt in a minute.
Just have white socks, that's it.
Yeah, but that's just the biggest key of it. Like you said, Jason, is being organized, being prepared. You can accomplish the day-to-day stuff and what you want to do. You just got to make sure that you prep for it, right? That's the overall thing. Make sure you prep for it. Lay the tools out, lay the ingredients out, and take your time. Take your time. That's you can get through. You can still live life after blindness. Well, while blindness, because ain't none of y'all dead. Y'all ain't dead, is you? Because I don't talk to ghosts.
Yeah, because after blindness never happens.
I've heard that phrase. I'm like, no, it's not after blindness. We're still alive. We're still alive.
Coping.
Yeah, absolutely.
Very, very much so. Very much alive.
Absolutely. So yeah, man, it's a pleasure hearing you guys chop it up about how you make it. Everybody got their way of making it, and this is one of the things. In this regard, we're like snowflakes. No one method is the same.
Yeah.
No one method is the same.
If you'd like to join us, there's always a seat for you in Booth 6 at the International Blind Cafe, Discord server, and Facebook group.
Sweet!